Hey everyone, the release date for Monster Hunter Wilds was revealed recently, and most of the monsters that have been shown for the game so far have been completely brand new monsters. While this is cool and makes sense that Capcom would want to show the new monsters that they've been making, I've been thinking a lot about what monsters that I want to see return from previous games. So in today's video, I want to make a little tier list that will talk about which monsters I want to return, and it kind of ranges from a scale of absolutely all the way down to please skip. Now this tier list maker has every single monster from the main series of Monster Hunter aside from the subspecies and variants, so it's just all of the base monsters, and I think if any of these guys were in, it would imply that any of their subspecies or variants could also appear. When making this tier list, I think that there are a lot of things to consider. Like, when was the last time a monster appeared in a Monster Hunter game? What was the last game they appeared in? The popularity of the monster will also factor into where I put them on the list, and also my own personal preference, of course. So, if I put a monster that you really like at the very bottom of the tier list, don't take it personally, it's just my opinion. But, alright, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So, starting off, let's just start off with the super easy ones, because whether you like it or not, these guys are back. Rathalos was the first monster that we saw, first returning monster in the initial reveal trailer for the game, which also implies Rathian, so I'm just going to put Rathian there. And then we also know from the recent Tokyo Game Show footage that Iankutku as well as Kongalala are coming back. So whether you like it or not, these guys are coming back. Alright, now is where we're going to get into the actual interesting stuff in the bulk of this video. So let's start off with like the basic monsters. I'm not really going to go into Elder Dragons. I think I'm also going to go... the nice thing about this tier list is that it's set up in like the generations of monsters. So you can see we have like the first gen monsters at the top, and then it kind of goes all the way down to 5th gen. And I think it's like even in the order that they appeared, which is really, really cool and helpful. So we're going to start with the first generation of monsters. Oh boy, here we go. The Velociraptors. Okay. Velocidrome, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say for all of these guys, honestly, just indifferent. Okay, he's not one of them. I'm going to say indifferent just because I don't really care. Like, they all... not really cool. They all kind of play the same, and they all kind of behave in the same way with like slight variations. Like Gendrome can paralyze you, and Iodrome can poison you. I don't hate their designs or anything. I just don't think that they're really anything that's special or unique. So I'm just gonna put them in indifferent. Also, by the way, for this list, some of these guys, like I am talking about base game here, but I think we should just also kind of include the expansion as well in this. Like. Obviously, we don't know what the full roster is going to look like for the base game, but when I say that I absolutely want a monster to return, I'm also saying, like, okay, if they don't appear in base game, I would at least like them to come back in the expansion, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, you know what? Yin Garuga is also kind of implied because of Iankutku, so I'll just put Yin Garuga up there. Diablos, I would prefer not. I'm sick of Diablos. I know Diablos is kind of a staple, but... just not a big fan of Diablos, honestly. Oh god, this guy. I'm forgetting this guy's name. The chicken. The rubber chicken. I don't even... completely forgetting this guy's name, so I apologize for that. Someone let me know in the comments, just because I'm not going to Google it as I'm recording this video. I might Google it after, but this guy... I'm kind of indifferent as well. Like, it's another classic monster, but the design... isn't really that crazy, and the fight's not that fun. I'm just gonna put him in there. Kezu. We just had Kezu in Rise, so I'm gonna say indifferent again. Doesn't really matter to me. Monoblos. Monoblos is kind of just like a Diablos with you know, one horn. But you know what? I'm actually gonna put Monoblos in would really like, because Monoblos has not come back since the 4th generation of Monster Hunter, and I don't even think he was included in Generations Ultimate either, which is kind of crazy. So it's literally been since Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate that we've seen Monoblos, so I'm gonna put it up there. Cephadrome, or Cephalos, I forget which one this is called. Please skip. No, hate that thing. Thing's lame. Plesioth. Ooh, this one, so I do not like Plesioth, as I imagine most of you do not. I do think that his design is kind of cool. Nothing crazy, but kind of cool, especially compared to like Giratotis or Lavasioth. I'm gonna just say would prefer not. Like, I'm not fully... I wouldn't hate it, and like maybe they could actually make the fight not suck, but yeah, not a big fan. What's this guy called? I forget, but he was in Rise. I know that Gravios is like the adult form. I'm just forgetting the name of the baby form. I think they made the fight of this monster better in Rise with how he would like heat up and then you could break those heated parts. But I'm gonna say would prefer not. Gravios, I'm gonna say indifferent on Gravios. I think it'd be weird to have Gravios and not have the baby form, but you know what? They did that in Rise. Like, they did the inverse of that in Rise. They had the baby form, but no Gravios, so I'm gonna put Gravios as indifferent. Kieran, I'm gonna say would prefer, well, Kieran, oh god, I mean, okay, I guess it depends. If they just brought back Kieran, I'm gonna say indifferent, but if it means that they could bring back Orochi Kieran, which was I think that's what it was called, Orochi Kieran, it was in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, it's like an Ice Kieran, then then that kind of changes things, because I think that subspecies is really cool, and it's only shown up the one time, so if we're talking about that, then yeah, would really like, but otherwise indifferent. Lao Shan Lung, okay, I know people hate this monster and they hate this fight. I don't hate it. I think it's okay. I don't think it's like that bad. I'm gonna still say would prefer not though, just because I think that there are way cooler siege fights that take priority. Yeah, I just realized I said I was gonna go over the basic monsters first and then get to like the Elder Dragons later, but let's just go through the list by generation, I guess. Fatalis. Okay, I would really like Fatalis to come back, but maybe not regular Fatalis, just because like, I don't know, they could just give us the exact same fight that we had in World, and I would be, like, literally just copy and paste the fight from World, and or from Iceborne, and I would be totally fine with it. But I would really like for them to do White Fatalis as, like, a brand new fight. I think that would be incredible. Gaia Drown, I think is what this is called. Yeah, now we're getting to second-gen Monster Hunter games. Yeah, Gaia Drone, same thing, indifferent. I don't care. Bulldrome, if we have I mean, it's the weird thing, like, Rise had Bullfangos, but it did not have Bulldrome, so there's that aspect of it, but I also just do not like Bulldrome very much, so, I'm gonna say Bulldrome, you can go in would prefer not. This guy, I forget his name, this monkey, the second-gen monkey. I mean, we already have Kongolala. I like Kongolala better. I'm gonna say, you know what? Blungaga? No, I don't even. Blungaga? I don't know. I don't remember what this guy was called. I'm gonna say indifferent, but yeah, I'll put him up there. In fact, I'm gonna put, like, these guys kind of, like, above the Raptors in terms of the levels of indifference, I guess. The crabs. We just had the crabs. They're cool. I like the crabs. I don't love them, but I don't really hate them either, so I'll put these guys in the indifferent section too. Rajong. Okay. Rajong. I know. This is gonna be a controversial pick, but put him up there. I know he's been in the last 2 Monster Hunter games, and people get really pissed off with the Rajong fights, but I don't know. I don't hate him. I think he's a fun and challenging fight, and I just think he would fit well into the game. So Rajong is going right up there. The Shengoran, the giant crab fight from Monster Hunter 2, I think. Another second generation monster. Another siege fight. It's kind of, from what I understand, it's like the exact same thing as Lao Shan Lung, but you fight this guy instead, and he, like, obviously does some slightly different attacks, so I'm gonna put him above Lao Shan Lung. Actually, let's just put these guys, like, there we go, at the top, because they're, like, right under indifferent, just barely. Kushala Deora, basically a staple monster, like a staple Elder Dragon. Yeah, we'll put in really like. Same thing with Teostra. Lunastra, and Chameleos. I like all those guys. They're fun. I especially love how incredible they made Chameleos in Rise. It was just so much fun. Yamasukami. Oh my god, this thing. Hot take, but I think I would actually really like this guy to come back. It's just such a weird monster that like, and here, let's move Monoblos down to the bottom because he's underneath all these guys. And Rajang. I'll leave Yamasukami like there. Never actually done the Yamasukami fight. I've just seen clips of it, and it looks really cool and weird. I know people don't really like the fight, but it's just such a bizarre monster that I think if they brought it back, they could do something really interesting with it. Though I will say, it does kind of feel like they missed their chance and that it would have been a little more fitting for Rise with all the wire bug mechanics and everything. So, I don't know. Tigrex, okay. This is another one. I know people just are sick of Tigrex, but I'm not gonna lie, I like Tigrex, so I'm gonna put Tigrex up here in the like bottom end of would really like. A Cantor. This thing, a Cantor and Ucanilos. Honestly, they're not really siege fights, and they're technically not even Elder Dragons. They're just like these giant monsters. I think they're fun, but I don't think that they're like incredible. I'll put them at the top of indifferent. Just under would really like. Nargacuga, yes. Yes, I would like Nargacuga to come back. In fact, let's put Nargacuga in absolutely. And actually, let's bump Fatalis up to absolutely as well. And you know what? And Tigrex, why not? Just put Fatalis up there. Hypnocatrice. So this guy has only been in one main series Monster Hunter game. He was also in Frontiers. You know what? Why not? Hypnocatrice. Why not? Get in here. It's kind of a little bird wyvern, and he like puts you to sleep. But yeah, I think why the hell not, right? Could be fun. Lavasioth, skip, get down there. Do not like Lavasioth. I actually dislike Lavasioth more than I dislike Plesioth, so. This Jaggy, great Jaggy. Honestly, kind of the same as the Velociraptors. I guess a little better than the regular ones. Same thing with this guy. Baggy, great Baggy, I think. Something like that. Royal Ludroth, yeah. I'm gonna say would prefer not, but I'll put him at, like, just under indifferent, just because, like, the reason is, like, if we get Leviathans, I don't really want them to waste a slot on Royal Ludroth. This guy, I forget his name, Korapeko, something like that. This little duck guy, this guy's funny. I think he'd be funny to have back. Especially, oh man, especially, like, the way that Wilds works with, like, how the whole map is like one big map and you can just go between the different biomes. Imagine if you ran into one of these guys in, like, the desert and he calls a monster that's, like, all the way in the other biome or something crazy like that. It wouldn't necessarily make sense, but it could be really funny. So I'm gonna say would really like. Baroth, honestly, no, I'm kind of sick of Baroth. Would prefer not. Put it, like, above Diablos. Giganox, kind of just like Kezu, but hasn't been in a game since 3, so I'll put it a bit higher than some of these other ones, just for that reason alone. I don't really like the monster that much, but, you know. Gobule, however you say it. Unfortunately, I don't really... They could do it. The thing is, you know, now we're in 3rd gen Monster Hunter, and a lot of the fights were underwater fights, and I don't think underwater's coming back. At least in the base game, it's not coming back, but who knows? Maybe they could bring it back in the expansion, but even then, I kind of doubt it. They could rework Gobule, but I just kind of don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to still throw them up and really like, though, because I think it'd be cool, and they could still revamp the fight to make it work above ground. Barioth. I love Barioth. Get up here with your brethren, the other pseudo-wyverns. Lagaia, absolutely, please, please. I'm gonna put him even higher than Fatalis just because, like, I want him back so badly. And the only reason why he's not, like, all the way at the top is because, we already know for sure that Rathalos, Rathian, Yenkaku, Yengaruga, and Kangalala are all coming back. But please, please, please. He was supposed to be in Monster Hunter World, and then that didn't happen. And now it's just like, please. I love Lagiacrus. It is one of my favorite monsters, probably like top 3. And the problem is that his fight is like the best underwater. Like above ground or above water on the surface, he's kind of his fight's kind of lame, but I still think that they could really, like, they could rework it. They could make it work. I don't know, though. It would be tough to do, but regardless, just please bring Lagiacrus back. Agnactor. Absolutely bring Agnactor back. So disappointing that he wasn't in Rise, and his baby versions were wandering around in Rise, but, there was never the big version. Uragon. Absolutely please skip. I hate Uragon. Moving on. Devil Joe. I mean, the invader monsters can be pretty fun. I'm gonna put him like below Gobule, just because I don't really care that much. Sideus. This fight is a siege fight that is literally just underwater, so while I think Sideus is pretty cool, I don't think it's gonna happen at all, just because it just can't without underwater, so I'm gonna put him there. This guy, one of the giant sand whales, the first one that they tried. I'm gonna say would prefer not as well. Actually, let's like move the draft on there. Yeah, like an interesting idea, but yeah. Alatreon. Yes, I would really like Alatreon to come back, but please make the fight more fun than it was in Iceborne, because, God, the whole elements thing was just brutal. I mean, then again, though, now in Wilds, we can, have 2 different weapons on you all the time, because you can store one of your weapons on your bird, so you could just have 1 ice weapon and 1 fire weapon and make it work like that. It kind of solves that problem that the fight had in Iceborne, so yes, I would really like Alatreon to come back. I think I'll put him below, I'll put him like in the middle though, like above Kieran, yeah. Yeah, okay. The bear, why am I forgetting his name? This guy's cute, but he was just in Rise, so because of that, indifferent, but higher than, yeah. Same thing with Lagombi, underneath the bear. Same thing with Volvidon. I'm gonna say below Lagombi. Zinogre, oh, Zinogre, okay. So I love Zinogre. Zinogre's like my second favorite flagship monster. I absolutely love Zinogre. And I think most people do. It's one of the most popular Monster Hunter monsters, period. Actually, I think, did it win the most popular monster vote? It might have actually won that when Capcom did that. So Zinogre, let's put him like, I think I'd really like him, but he's been in like every game since he first showed up, so I'm gonna put him like here. Nibblesnarf. This guy's funny. I'm gonna say would prefer not, though. I think he's better than, like... Yeah, I'll put him above Royal Ludroth, honestly. Like, I don't hate it, I just don't really... I don't know, it's kind of a lame monster design, and the fight's not that fun, either. Duramboros. I'm indifferent to Duramboros coming back. I think it'd be fun and funny. He hasn't been in a game since 4. I think 4? Maybe it was 3, actually. I'm not No, it was in Generations Ultimate, actually. Yeah, I don't think it was in 4, though. But yeah, Duran Burst is cool. I'm just kind of indifferent. Amatsu. We just had Amatsu, so because of that, I'm going to put him at the bottom of would really like. Actually, top of indifferent. Just because, like, we just had Amatsu to cap off Sunbreak, and I like Amatsu, but I don't think it's, like, the best siege fight ever or anything, so I'm just going to put Amatsu there. Brachydios. Let's put him in... What can I say? I really like Brachydios. Let's put him just under Zinogre. I think he'd be a really cool monster to come back. Dire Morales. It's like kind of like a Fatalis. I don't know though. You kind of. This is another fight where like it'd be kind of weird to have without underwater. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of would really like. I don't know. I think it'd be cool, but they again have to completely rework the fight. Okay, now we're at 4th gen. So 4th gen, yeah, let's get some 4th gen representation in here because I absolutely love some of these, like a lot of the 4th gen monsters. I think they really just, oh man, they went crazy with the designs in 4th gen. So Kechawacha, let's get him in absolutely. I think that'd be a really fun monster to come back. Same thing with Tetsukabra. That was so frustrating in Rise, where like we saw the guy riding the baby Tetsukabra in the hub area, and then there was just no Tetsukabras in the game. God, Rise had so much of that, where you'd see like the baby monsters, you'd be like, oh, they're teasing the big one coming back, and then the big one doesn't come back. So Celtis and Celtis Queen, absolutely, you can't really have one without the other. So yeah, the Celtis Queen is just such a cool idea for a monster, and please bring back Celtis Queen. Oh my god. Okay, ooh, Nursilla. Is that the right Nursilla? I think that's the right name. Or am I just completely thinking of something else? This monster, the spider, Nursilla, I think. Yeah, this monster, you know, it was the first spider. It hasn't shown up since Generations Ultimate. It's a cool monster, but I think the new spider is way cooler, and I also think Arachnakadaki is way cooler. But just out of respect for Nursilla, because it was the original spider, and it hasn't been back in a while, I'm gonna put it in absolutely. Zamtrios, yes, absolutely. Another monster that was in, there were baby versions just running around in Rise, and the monster itself just wasn't there, which was really disappointing. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption in the video, but as I was editing the video, I realized that if I include the rest of my creation of this tier list in this video, it would nearly double the length of it, and I really didn't want this to be like a 40-minute long video, so what I decided to do is actually split this up into 2 parts. I know we finished up at kind of an abrupt moment there, but part 2 will come out several days after this one releases, maybe like 4 or 5 days after, and that will wrap up my wish list of returning monsters. So thanks so much guys for your patience, and I will see you all in part 2.